Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. I'm Barry Bryson, and we're continuing our study of the life and letters of the Apostle Peter. And we're in Mark chapter 14 today. Peter has gone to the Garden of Gethsemane with Jesus. Yesterday, Jesus explained to Peter at the Last Supper that he was going to deny him. And told him, Satan has requested to sift you like wheat, and I prayed for you that your faith would not fail. But when you return, encourage your brothers. You are going to fail, he tells him. And you're going to, and then goes on to tell him, you're going to deny me 3 times. And Peter, for his part, says he is prepared to go to death, to go to prison, to go wherever, to be with Jesus, to serve with Jesus. Jesus goes to the Garden of Gethsemane. This is recorded in all 3 synoptic gospels, and of course referred to in John chapter 18. We're going to be in John chapter 18 tomorrow. The Garden of Gethsemane was a converted olive grove where there was an olive press. Herod had turned it into a public park, Herod the Great had, and it was a beautiful place, aromatic place, with walks and beautiful olive trees, and it was across the hill. It was on the hill opposite the hill that Jerusalem is on, and Jesus has gone there to pray. I like Mark's account because Mark tells us, more of what Jesus says. It uses the word Abba, but we learn from Luke that Jesus is so stressed that he's sweating blood when this happens. There's a technical name for that, and it's just escaped me at the moment. But what he needs from Peter is for him to stay awake. Peter says he's afraid, he is prepared to do everything, but he's not prepared to stay awake, which is important to Jesus at this moment and important tomorrow. Let's just read the passage, Mark chapter 14, verses 32 through 42. They came to a place named Gethsemane, which means olive press, actually. And he said to his disciples, "Sit here until I have prayed." And he took with him Peter and James and John and began to be very distressed and troubled. And he said to them, "My soul is deeply grieved to the point of death. Remain here and keep watch." And he went a little beyond them, and he fell to the ground and began to pray that if it were possible, the hour might pass him by. And he was saying, not just once, he was saying, repeating, "Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Remove this cup from me. Yet not what I will, but what you will." And he came and found them sleeping, and he said to Peter, "Simon, are you asleep? Could you not keep watch for 1 hour? Keep watching and praying that you do not come into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." And again he went away and prayed the same words. And again he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were heavy, and they did not know what to answer him. And he came a 3rd time and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? It's enough. The hour has come. Behold, the Son of Man is being betrayed into the hands of sinners. Arise, let's be going. Behold, the one who betrays me is at hand." This is so hard for Jesus. He falls on his face. He asks multiple times not to have to do this. He's sweating blood. He appeals to God the way a child would to his father. We're going to have a sermon on this in the next few days, so I won't go there. This is hard, and especially in Mark's gospel, it's hard. It's frightening. But it's interesting that Jesus needs to not be alone. He takes 3 with him, and he needs them to stay awake and just to sit with him, just to be with him, just to watch with him. And the first person he talks to when he finds them asleep is Peter, and wakes Peter up and talks to Peter. I wonder why Peter. The next time he wakes them all up, but this time he talks to Peter and says, you couldn't even stay awake with me for an hour. It's rough. It's rough, and I'm sure Peter remembered that and felt the full force of the fact that he promised to die with Jesus and he couldn't even stay awake for an hour while he prayed. Well, he's going to be just woken up again tomorrow when he meets those who have come to arrest Jesus. Will be in John chapter 18. Thank you for joining me for what was almost just 5 minutes today, and we will see you tomorrow.